Boom. Okay, this video is breaking down my journey as a whole being in business. Now, things have happened so quickly for me. I've gone from corporate to having a successful agency faster than I could ever imagine. And the point of this video isn't to have a highlight reel of me being like, I'm so incredible, look at me. It's not the point. The point of this video is breaking down the lessons that I learned, the mistakes that I made, and how I would have made even more money if I was able to not make some of the mistakes I made. And I want to impart some of that knowledge upon you. Even if you're making more money than me, hopefully there'll be something in here that will allow you to make more money, be a better business person, whatever it may be. Amazing, cool. So title of this video is, title of this presentation is Grinding So Hard My Mentors Became My Friends, which is actually a fact, okay? So yeah, let's get straight to it. So, started and failed my first business in 2016. So I tried my hand at business right out of university. I had very little success, but got the business bug, and I knew that I always wanted to be a business owner. So this is me when I'm, I don't know how old I was in 2016. I must have been 19. Because that's when I first went to uni. So this is over 10 years ago. No, well, I'm 28, so like damn near 9 years ago. And I got the business bug and I was like, damn, I really want to start a successful business. I really want to be able to make money. But I didn't know anything about business, so it obviously failed miserably. So then I went to university, did the whole uni thing, and I got a corporate job in 2020. So had to get a job to live, especially as my business wasn't bringing enough income. And this is me doing the whole business thing, getting the corporate job, playing the corporate game, all that nonsense. And for me personally, and this is obviously personal preference, I just thought corporate was stupid. I never liked it. I never thought that this was my destiny. I knew that I could do more with myself. So that's why I said to myself, okay, look, I need to push myself to start a business. But I'm doing the whole corporate job thing, and I fucking hate it, to be frank. I did not enjoy it. So then there was years of struggling and wanting more. So I started my second business in 2021. So whilst working, I decided to start another business as I knew I wanted more from working. And then of course I was struggling to scale in 2021, doing everything I can to scale, but just couldn't get off the ground. I just couldn't make money. So the business failed in 2022. So then I decided I just couldn't make it work, and I packed up shop. And I became increasingly more pissed off with my job in 22. So I became completely annoyed with my job. So this is me, like, during my Deloitte days. I have no problem talking about my former employer. And this is like me in the office and just hating it, really. Not enjoying it. My beard doesn't look too bad, but you can see I'm not having a good time, okay? You can see I'm far more smiley and happy. And then I pretty much gave up on business. So I traveled the world from February 2022 to January 2024, convinced myself that traveling would make me happier. Now, your boy did go to like 15 or 16 countries during those 2 years, and that was incredible. But it was a Band-Aid. It was a Band-Aid to the bleeding. Sabah. It was a Band-Aid to the bleeding. It was me trying to patch what I almost want to say was a calling. Now, I don't say calling in like a spiritual sense. You know what? Damn near a spiritual sense. I knew that I was destined for more. But I just gave up, and I think being young, being naive, not being that well versed in the business game, I just struggled, and I just didn't really know what was working. I didn't really know what was going on, and the unfortunate result was that I made a grand total of $0. So then I pushed myself to keep trying, because I'm a strong believer that it's imperative to blindly try on the things that are important to you, even if you see no results. The reason why I have been jacked my entire life is because I have just continued to try as hard as I can in the gym, and I want to take that philosophy to other areas of my life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's business, whether it's learning a new skill. I want to just try as hard as I physically can. And that doesn't mean I'm going to be the best. It doesn't mean I'm going to be the most competent. It doesn't mean I'm going to be the most talented. But in trying my absolute best, I'm going to get pretty damn good, and I want to beat a lot of people, because people don't try very hard, especially in the 21st century. Cool. So I started my third business, and I stopped caring about my job entirely. I literally didn't give a shit, I'm not gonna lie. And I just poured everything to my business each and every day. I can speak about this now, because it's whatever. To be honest, I was speaking about it when I was at my job. I would literally open my laptop, say hello on Teams calls, close it, and then just work on my business. Like, that's what I was on. And then Deloitte, my former employer, whatever, they noticed my performance since I was pouring everything to my business. And then they were like, dude, you clearly don't care about this job. and then they got rid of me, which I have absolutely no misgivings about. I think it definitely made sense for them economically. Like I didn't care, and I was just working on my business. So then I was like, all right, cool. I want to be all in on my business. I'm going to make this work. So I packed my bags and I just went berserk in August 2024. Moved from London to Bali, Indonesia, which I'm still at to this day. And this is me working like an absolute madman. So I struggled to scale for 7 months and I wanted to give up, to be honest with you. I even released a YouTube video about how I wanted to quit and how I was unsure if I could make it work. So this is a real YouTube video. And it was just me meeting sophisticated business owners, feeling inadequate, having bad imposter syndrome, and thinking to myself, what am I doing here? I need to apply for jobs because I'm never gonna make this work. And that's a real feeling that I unfortunately felt. Cool. So then I decided to invest in Client Ascension, which is a pretty well-known B2B business program ran by a guy called Daniel Fazio. And I've been on his email list, and he had been one of the reasons why I was like, I know I can make this business work. Because the things he talked about, I knew I was willing to do it. I knew I was willing to put the work in. And he had a webinar and he was like, okay, I'm gonna help you guys make more money. So I was like, oh, fucking let me join. So I know I needed help. So I decided to take the plunge and join Daniel Fazio's webinar. Now, this message is literally one of my group chats with two of my best friends. And I'm saying to two of them, I signed up for Daniel Fazio's webinar, was a bit on edge, I wouldn't learn anything, but it's incredible. And this is literally me just talking about how great it is. This is, I don't have the date, but I think it was like March 2024. Amazing. So I joined Client Ascension in April 2025, completely scared out of my mind and insecure about my business. So I ended up joining Daniel Fazio's program. So next 2 weeks, I'm gonna be like locked in. This is me speaking to some other guys as well, good dudes, some business owners talking about how I'm just putting all my time and energy into this business program. And frankly, I was shitting myself. I was like, I have to make this work, I have to make this work, I have to make this work, I have to make this work. Because to be candid with you, I was battling a lot of insecurities because I'd come from, obviously I'm from London, and in London, people can disagree with this, I don't really care if they do disagree with it, but in London, in the UK, starting businesses is frankly frowned upon. People don't like the fact that you want to be your own boss. It's not like other cultures, like for example, the USA, where they have their own issues, but when you start a business there, it's very much, oh wow, you can make it work, it's the American dream. But the British, no one's saying the British dream. So I was battling a lot of insecurities and a lot of doubts in my mind. It's not like people were hating on me, it wasn't like that at all. I actually had quite a lot of support, but it's more I was saying to myself, am I just naive? Am I so stupid to think that this is real and it's all a fugazi, it's all a bunch of bullshit? That's what I was battling against. So then I got stuck into Client Ascension, and I just started to absorb everything I could in the program. And it doesn't matter if it's Client Ascension or any other program, it's just about just getting stuck in, and it's just about trying to be the best version that you can be of yourself. Then I ran into a really, really big sales issue. I just couldn't close anybody for shit. So I was booking all these sales calls, but I just couldn't convert them into actual sales. And it was heartbreaking, it was really, really painful. And a big mistake is that if I had learned sales faster, I would have made more money. I missed 6 sales calls because I had no process, and I just had to learn sales. And I didn't want to learn sales. I was like, oh, I don't want to learn sales. And I think a lot of it was British programming permeating into my psyche, into my consciousness. And this is me speaking to Fazio, one of the mentors, the guy, one of the founders of the program, and he's like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, I'm struggling to close people. And he was like, speak to these people. So then I learned sales like an absolute madman. Dude, I was in the Philippines, right? And I remember, so the Philippines has tons of malls. All them niggas do is eat food. So I was in the Philippines, I was in a mall, and I would put my headphones in and I would just walk around the mall and I would just go over sales process, B2B sales process, budget, authority, lead timing. I would just go over all the questions that I'd need to ask, like how the process works in like granular detail. And it helped me a ton. And then there's a sales coach who I have a great relationship with to this day, and he helped me a ton. He gave me a ton of feedback. You can see how crazy he went. What a guy. Amazing. And then from there, in around August 2024, my business started to pick up. And there was a gentleman called Cam, and I was able to help him with his business, and he gave me a big shout out. And that gave me so much confidence. I'm almost like emotional talking about it. It gave me so much confidence to be a business owner, because I had just so much insecurities and I was battling a lot of imposter syndrome. So to have somebody, and Cam's a serious business owner, I think he was doing like 85K a month at the time. So it just made me think like, if someone that's at that level can say that I'm doing good things, I know that I can do good things. And it was a confidence booster that I needed. And I started to use AI a bit more, and I was able to streamline my processes, and I just became a more sophisticated business owner. And that's what I needed. I needed my confidence to increase. I needed to learn more about business. I needed to learn more about processes, and it just helped so much. And then my business started to fucking explode during August and November. Now, some of you guys might see these numbers and say, that's not explosion. Look, coming from someone that was working a corporate job and then had their business very suddenly take off and make far more money than they did in a corporate job, this is all that I ever wanted. Of course, I want to earn tons of money, but we've got to start small. If you're learning to bench press, you can't go straight to benching 405 pounds, 250 kilograms. Like it's not going to work. It's actually 180 kilograms, but you get the idea. You have to build up to that kind of weight. And for me, I have to build up to that kind of income. So slow and steady wins the race, and that's why for me this was such a pivotal moment in my journey. And I just was signing more and more clients, and it was just incredible. I could do pretty much anything but grow hair, and it was just amazing. And there's me speaking to my sales coach, amazing. And then from there, I started to learn outreach, and I got really quite good at outreach, Dream 100 outreach. I pioneered this, and I can say pioneered this strategy called Superlooms, and it was a strategy where you make a crazy video for people, and it just started doing so unbelievably well. And I was able to just close more and more bigger people. And Dan Crowley is still my client. Dan Crowley is still my client to this day. And Evan Seach as well, did something for him as well, did a Superloom, and it just worked so incredibly well. And more and more people start to respond to my cold emails. So I haven't blurred out any of these people's names, but whatever. Hopefully they don't mind. Found out Oliver, he was a client for ages, and just more and more people just started to respond to my emails, and it was incredible. And I started to gain. My business started exploding. I started to gain more traction, and then going back to the mentors. The people that were mentoring me started to see, they were like, wow, this guy's actually on his Dean, this guy's taking this shit serious. So then they said, oh, can you join some of our webinars, talk about your experience? I was like, of course I can. And it was such a big moment because if you see here, this is the webinar that I joined in March 2024. And then this is me in November that on a webinar talking about my experience. And this was so full circle for me. And it just made me think, the things that we can do and how much we underestimate ourselves. You got to just think to yourself, how many shots have you not taken? How many things have you prevented yourself from doing because you've thought to yourself, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not brilliant enough, I'm not smart enough, when you are. It just takes time and it's just difficult to go through at the time, but you will work through it. And this to me was like the most full circle moment. I'm literally almost getting emotional talking about it. I'm so grateful. And then from there, the next thing that happened is that I was getting such good results with my cold emails and my Dream 100. You can see, I have literally hundreds of these. Like I have literally like hundreds of them. I get a message from someone saying that this is the best outreach I've ever seen 4 times a week, literally every week. It's insane. So, and I was helping so much in the program that I said to them like, hey guys, like, do you want to make me a coach? And they were like, we'd absolutely love to make you a coach. So take this in, I went from being a student in the program, March 2024, to becoming a coach in the program, December 2024. And my business has just done nothing but taken leap and bound and stride after stride. And this is from someone that wasn't even in the agency space in August of 2024. Hasn't even really, well, obviously now it's been a year, but it hasn't even really been like 2 years. Think about how much progress we can all make. And this is me being a coach. And what's great now is that you can see this online webinar, and now I'm doing webinars for them. So literally, I went from these people being my mentors to damn near being my business partners. Now, obviously, I'm not saying I have like equity in all their businesses, but you get the idea. Mentorship to working with these people directly. And these are big business people, these are big people in the agency space, big people in the info space, and my personal brand has been building up and up and up and up and up, simply because I put the work in, I didn't give up on myself. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say there weren't dark days. There were some really dark days. There were days where I wanted to pack it in. There were days that like, I was so stressed that I couldn't perform in more ways than one, if you get my drift. And this journey for me has been the most beautiful, transformative, exciting journey that I've ever been on. I couldn't have asked for more. I couldn't have asked to be put through the ringer and just develop as a man, develop as a business person. And I don't know what the future holds, but what I do know is that in betting on myself and doing everything that I fucking can to win, it changed my life forever. And I wouldn't change it for the world. So yeah, I appreciate you watching. I hope you took some inspiration from my journey. Hope you learned something. And I hope it makes you even more money. I'll see you for the next one. Bye now. I'm getting emotional. Bye.